Welcome back. So now we're going to talk about the concept of your company. So many of you have been taught in architecture and engineering about the concept of a project. That's basically the storyline of how you're going to build your project. Is the same for your company. What is going to be the storyline behind your company? And this is going to be divided into three major points. So the first one is going to be the why. So why are you starting this company and what does this company stand for? So it's basically, why do you do it? It's that simple. So why do you want to build this company? What is the issue that you're trying to solve for your customer and for your clients? And this text is going to be key. So you need to really think about it and write it in 5 sentences. Your why is really major. Do not, however, mix up the why with the tools that you're going to use, because that's something different. The why is really the purpose of your company. So if you take the example of MVRDV, for instance, for those who don't know it, it's quite an international practice based in Rotterdam, and their website basically explains the why by saying we make playful architecture. So that is really their why. This is why they started the company. So any client that will go to them are clients that want fun architecture, of course. So this is why the why is so important, and it can be abstract. It doesn't need to be anything technical or anything with a purpose. It has to be more a selling point, like give an overview, give a feeling to your customer. Playful architecture, it says everything and nothing in the same time. It's just a dream, right? So try to apply this to your firm. And then we have the how. And the how is, how are you gonna go about it to put it in place? So how are you gonna execute your why? How are you gonna solve the issue? So again, how are you solving the problem? And that can be a methodology. It can be a type of architecture. So for instance, for playful architecture, the how could be, we use parametric design, or we use a method of prefabricated architecture, if that's what you specialize in. It's really like the method that you use and the spaces that you want to create. So that is so important, again, to make the difference between the why, which is your purpose, and the how is how you're going to go about it. And the how is also very specific to you. So someone else may have a company with the same purpose as yours, but your how, your way of solving the issue has to be unique compared to the competition. So that is so important to understand. And finally, you have the what. So the what is basically, why should the client go for you instead of someone else? The what is the credentials. So usually for companies that are already existing, the what is their references, their awards, their achievements, and so on. As a startup or as a young company, you need to think about your experience, your credentials, put all the awards, if you had awards while being a student, or any publications and so on. The what basically justifies why they should pick you over someone else. And we all have our personal experience. So that's why it's so important to highlight it. Even if you're a startup, that doesn't mean you start from scratch. you have had many years of experience in practices or in different jobs. So try to explain where does your knowledge come from and why did it bring you to your purpose in the first place. So it is so important to explain that. For instance, for me, my what is throughout my career, I specialized in the business side of the architecture and engineering practices that I work with, and this has triggered me to be the right person to advise people on their business and their firms and how to grow it exponentially, right? So this is the what. Really, it's something personal. If you're not alone in your company, you have to put both of your experiences there and justify why you're the right person to do this company, right? Does that make sense? So go on your workbook. There are some exercises on there that are expecting you. Please write 5 sentences maximum for each 3, and those are so important because we're going to use it for the pitch, we're going to use it for your website, we're going to use it for your LinkedIn, everything. So take your time to do this step. It might take a week because you need to think about it. It might take 1 day. It depends on everyone. But please make that step before carrying on onto the next lesson. Trust me, it's going to be so much more efficient if you go to the next lesson and you will have written this out. So I see you in the next step.